Hi, welcome to the We're Gonna Make It podcast show, your go-to source for all things new tech and Web3. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the latest milestone in deep learning GPT-4 created by OpenAI. We will take a closer look at its capabilities, including the ability to handle multimodal inputs, its improved performance compared to its predecessor, GPT-3.5, and its focus on safety and reliability. Let's start by discussing the new capabilities of GPT-4. This model is a large multimodal model that can accept both images as well as text inputs, while emitting text outputs. OpenAI has spent 6 months iteratively aligning GPT-4 using lessons from its adversarial testing program as well as ChatGPT, resulting in their best ever results on factuality, steerability, and refusing to go outside guardrails. One of the most significant improvements of GPT-4 is its ability to handle much more nuanced instructions than GPT-3.5. This is because GPT-4 is more reliable and creative, making it more proficient in handling complex tasks. OpenAI tested GPT-4 on a variety of benchmarks, including simulating exams that were originally designed for humans. They found that GPT-4 passed a simulated bar exam with a score around the top 10% of test takers, while GPT-3.5 score was around the bottom 10%. OpenAI has also been using GPT-4 internally, with great impact on functions like support, sales, content moderation, and programming. They're also using it to assist humans in evaluating AI outputs, starting second phase in their alignment strategy. Another significant improvement of GPT-4 is its visual input capabilities. It can accept a prompt of text and images, which allows the user to specify any vision or language task. Specifically, it generates text outputs, example natural language or code, given inputs consisting of interspersed text and images. GPT-4 exhibits similar capabilities on visual and text-only inputs. However, image inputs are still a research preview and not publicly available. OpenAI has been working on each aspect of the plan outlined in their post about defining behavior of AIs, including steerability. Rather than the classic ChatGPT personality with a fixed verbose tone and style, developers can now prescribe their AI style and task by describing those directions in a system message. System messages allow API users to significantly customize the user experience within bounds. Alright, so before we wrap this up, let's try and understand what are certain limitations that users should be aware of with AI systems across the board. Some of these limitations can be a lack of emotional intelligence. ChatGPT-4 lacks emotional intelligence, which means it may not be able to understand and respond to emotions expressed in a conversation. It may provide robotic and unemotional responses to emotional situations. There can be limited domain knowledge, which is it's trained on a large corpus of text data, but it may not have the expertise or the knowledge to answer questions or provide information on certain specialized topics. So it may be inaccurate and incomplete information on certain topics. There can also be bias in what the responses are. They can be influenced by the training data itself. It may produce biased or prejudiced responses to certain questions or situations. There can be inability to reason. ChatGPT is a language model that sort of generates responses based on statistical patterns and training data. So it may not have the ability to reason and understand complex concepts, which could result in inappropriate responses. There can also be limited contextual understanding. Since it lacks the ability to understand the context and tone of the conversation fully, it may generate inappropriate responses that can be completely different from the topic we are discussing. And finally, security and privacy concerns. Since ChatGPT-4 is an AI-powered conversational agent, there are security and privacy concerns. It is essential to ensure that the data shared with GPT is secure and protected. So in conclusion, while ChatGPT-4 is a very powerful language model that can generate human-like responses, it has certain limitations that should be taken into consideration. Users should be aware of these limitations to avoid relying on the model for tasks that require high levels of expertise or emotional intelligence. So in conclusion, GPT-4 is a significant milestone in deep learning, exhibiting improved performance compared to its predecessor GPT 3.5. Its multimodal capabilities and visual input capabilities make it more reliable and creative, allowing it to handle much more nuanced instructions than before. OpenAI's focus on safety and reliability is evident in their alignment strategy and development process. We look forward to seeing further improvements to GPT-4 and the impact it will have on the field of deep learning. That's all for today's episode of We Gonna Make It podcast show. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for our next episode where we'll discuss the latest developments in Web3 and new technologies. Thank you and goodbye.